Hi guys, it's Amanda. Welcome back. Today I am going to attempt to do the same painting I did the other day before I poured a ring pour over top of it, because whenever I posted a picture of that painting and asked this or that, where I showed the one what it looked like before I poured over it and then what happened after I poured over it, probably 98% of the responses were that people liked the first one first before I poured over it. So I'm going to attempt to do that again today, which, as we know in pouring, nothing ever turns out the same way, but I'm going to use the same colors, and I'm going to use a 10 by 10 inch canvas today instead of 8 by 8, and I'm just going to see what happens. I'm going to try as closely as I can to mimic the cup. I just remember what order I went in. I don't remember exactly how much of anything. So bear with me and we'll see what we get. And before we get started, after I layer my cup and lay down my base coat, well, after I layer my cup, I'll have to go get some paper towels because this is all that I have left here right now. Okay, so I'm going to start with some of this Pearlescent paint, and then this one I'm going to try to put my caps in the same order so I'll know. This one is lemon yellow with some Pearlescent. And I think I put Pearlescent between each layer. I might not do as much or exactly the same thing, so of course my painting won't be the same, but I want to try to get something similar. But we'll just see what we get. That was orange yellow and Pearlescent. This is medium magenta. And Pearlescent. And Ultramarine Violet. Sometimes I have to think for a minute to remember the color names. Pearlescent. Prussian Blue. And if I remember correctly, I went in reverse order for the second layer. If that's not what I did, that's still what I'm going to do today. Pearlescent, Ultramarine Violet, bear with me while I find the lid, Pearlescent, I'm going to run out of room, medium magenta, Pearlescent, orange yellow, Pearlescent, lemon yellow. We're going to have a very full cup and a little bit of Pearlescent on top. I'm going to lose some whenever I flip it because it is so full, but that's okay. As long as it goes on the canvas and I can work with it, that's fine. Alright, I can never seem to get my base coat looking perfect. Whenever I try to flatten it out with my palette knife, I always get stuck and it drags on me. So this is about the best it's going to be. But that's okay, it gets covered up anyway. And it's the paint that we pour on top that creates our painting, so it doesn't really matter what the base coat looks like. Alright guys, I'm back, and this has been sitting for about 5 minutes or a little bit more. I'm not sure how it's going to turn out, but I'm ready to lift it and see what happens. And I'm just going to let it keep drizzling there. I know I don't normally do that because it leaves all kinds of weird spots. But today I wanted to get as much out of the cup as I could. I should have done it a different way probably, but I'm just curious to see what will happen. I know it won't turn out anything like the one the other day, but it's the exact same colors in the exact same order. They're just layered differently, and they have sat longer, and they will mix together differently. I'm trying to pop some of these big bubbles. There's little bubbles too, but I see some big bubbles from where I lifted the cup differently. And it's coming this way, so we'll turn it. I'm going to give it time to do what it wants before I start messing with it. That orange yellow always seems to make cells, because that's what my cell, like right there, all these cells, that's what my, first out of the cup, that's what my cells usually are from the orange yellow when I use that color. But today I can actually see more of the yellow, I can see more pink, I can see the blue. I can't quite see the purple except for right in there, but that's okay. I am sure that I will get some green like I always do when I use blue and yellow, but I'm hoping that it's not quite as green as the one was the other day. I've had two lately where they ended up with a lot of green from my blue and yellow. While I am sitting here waiting on this painting to do what it wants while it spreads out a little bit, I wanted to say, I know I haven't done any videos for a long time to show you like dry results or varnished results of any of my previous paintings. So I have a plan to try to do that here in the next week or two sometime. So watch out for that. Two of my paintings that I have varnished from December I gave to my grandparents as Christmas gifts. So I probably won't be able to get you a look at those. There's still a few cells on top. I think as the paint just slowly spreads out, not cells, bubbles. I think as the paint slowly spreads out, air comes up from underneath. Air comes up as the paints separate and move around. So I get some bubbles. I'm not sure if this white around the edge, I can't tell if that is the pearlescent that I put in there, or if that is where this paint was so thick together that it pulled up white from the bottom. I can't tell. Okay, I'm almost back around to where I started, which would be this turn. So I'm trying to figure out now which way I want to start with tilting.
I saw a lot of bubbles in there. Okay,
I think I've pretty much reached my sides okay, but I will try to tilt towards the corners a little bit to stretch this out, and then maybe I can get a better idea of which way, what I want to tilt off first. That's not really helping. Maybe if I can get this white paint I told you about earlier that is really old, and this bottle's old. Well, I've remixed white paint in this bottle quite a few times, but there's a crack in the lid. I want to see if I can get any more paint out of it, because after this, it's just going, the whole thing's just going in the trash. Unless I can clean it and get it into the recycling. But it might just be time for the trash. I can't really get anything out of here to help with my tilting, can I? Nope, it's done. Sorry about that. That didn't work out. Not everything works out. That's what my last few paintings have taught me. So I'm going to try to go this way, I think. No. I can see some colors under there. Maybe let's try to go this way. Oh, I didn't want to go over the edge yet. So maybe go this way. Almost to the corner and then back, just to stretch it out and see what I'm left with a little bit. I do want to go that way, I think. I'm not doing it very slowly, like I would like. That white and all the edge of that's going to go over down there. And maybe stretch it back this way. I'm not worried about composition at all right now. Maybe that's my problem. Maybe that's why I don't like a lot of my paintings until they've dried and sat around forever. At first I just try to go for sides and stuff. I'm losing all this paint over here. What I am going to do is I'm just going to grab the corner catcher and go for this corner. If I can't. That corner catcher is not working very well for me. It's not squeezing the canvas like it should. There we go. I know I can see some colors under that pearlescent there, but I just want to go down here, I think, because I want to see what happens with this blue and stuff up here whenever I stretch away from it. Okay. And now I'm going to turn and get it back, get the weight of the paint back towards the center. Sorry, sometimes I mumble because I'm talking, I forget I'm talking to a camera, and I start, whoa, not thinking about what I'm doing. I start thinking about what I'm doing and talking to myself about what I'm doing, and then whenever I start to tilt, I'm talking and I forget what I'm doing. That's why I suck at this. Okay, and now what? I've missed some there, but I want to just get the four corners for now, I think. And then I can do touch-ups and check for composition. This is hard to hold right now. I'm doing it too fast, I know. That's why it's just going to be a big blobby mess. I'm losing all cells and everything because I'm doing it too fast. This looks nothing like what I had to begin with last time before I poured a ring pour over it. But that's okay. I knew it wouldn't turn out to be the same. They never do. And now I'm going to look at it and see what I want to do with it, because I still have plenty of paint that I can go over some sides and try to stretch some things out to get more cells. Like down in there, there's some pink cells coming up. I need to wipe off my gloves before I start doing it again. This section right in here kind of reminds me of what part of the last one looked like, with how the blue or the purple is kind of going around that orange-yellow parts, or those orange-yellow parts. But I did myself no favors by not paying any attention to composition when I was tilting. I think my paints are a little bit thinner than what I was using last year. I would just go for the corners last year and then look at what I had left, and I would have cute little designs and things in there. But I think my paints are a little bit thinner now, so I'm not ending up with much that I like after I do that. I like that the colors came out better, where we can see the colors better this time, but this side over here is pretty bare. Some of this is bare. That one's pretty covered. There's just a couple of spots. I don't know what that side looks like. I'm gonna have to get up and look. That one's mostly covered. Which I don't... Sorry, my dog sees or hears someone outside. Since these sides, this side and this side are the least covered, I think I'm going to tilt some more that way. So I'll turn it around, and of course I'll touch what I like over here in the process on accident. But I will first tilt off some this way to cover this and cover the side. And then I will start tilting towards the corner and that side. And I can touch up the corner with my finger, but I think maybe I've gotten the sides now. I don't quite have that side over there. I'll go that way a little bit too. Having a hard time seeing what's happening. There's a white spot there. We'll try to get that off. I'm losing a whole lot of the stuff that's going on over there. But that's okay too. And now I can tilt back. It's so much of that orange yellow. That color just takes over. Yellow is my favorite color, so I go a little bit heavy with the yellow, and that orange yellow is what's all over the table. Because a lot of times my yellow gets lost and doesn't show up in my piece for me, so I go heavy with it, but the orange yellow really takes over. I'm liking this blue and purple section over in here. I'm thinking maybe if I stretch some more this way and lose some of that orange, I can stretch out some of that blue and purple that I like. I want to keep some of that yellow because, like I said, yellow is my favorite color, and orange, and I tend to go heavy with those because I like them. But that really takes over this time. So there we've stretched out that blue that I like. Now I'm going to come towards this corner to get rid of a little bit of the green. Sorry, let me turn it around since you probably can't see when I do it like that. Now I can see the pink kind of coming through over there too. So maybe I won't take all of it off, just kind of tip it over the edge and come back. And I just have a couple of spots on the sides that I can touch up with my fingers now. I don't want to lose all of this blue that's over here. I wonder if I can pull it towards the painting a little bit more. I don't think so. I'm just going to kind of center this back up a little bit. Whoops. Okay. I like this purple and blue section through here. I'm glad with the pink around the outside, I'm glad I stretched that out. And I do still have the yellow that I like and some of the orange and pink, the orange that takes over. There's nothing really to draw your attention. There's not really a focal point. And this is not what I would call a good painting or a great painting, but I like it better than the last few that I have done. I do like the little pink cells in through here. This one here looks like an island in this blue water stuff. I don't know which way it's going to go. I'm going to wipe my hands again and I'm going to torch it and see if I want to do anything else with it or not. Okay, I've wiped off my hands a little bit. Now I'm going to torch and see what else pops up, and I'm just going to look at it from just like look at the sides and the directions and see what I want to do with it. I'm not really getting, there's some bubbles over here. I'm not really getting a lot of bubbles. I'm seeing some white paint come up through on the side over here again, like it did last time. And I think that that must be from my base coat being so thin. I do have a little bit on the edges to touch up over here, the side, but if I take the paint from underneath, like where you wipe underneath the painting, and then dab it on the sides. Now I'm adding the wrong color though. Whoops. I'm really messing up that side, so I might have to tilt this way a little bit just to cover up my mistake. That color looks like what goes there. Close enough. I don't know how any of the corners are. That's something, I'll check the corners and the sides after I stop recording. I might need to tip it towards myself just a little bit to fix what I messed up over here. But I don't want to lose a whole lot, so I may end up tipping it back the opposite direction. It's not really moving like I wanted it, so I'm not going to. I'll tip it back that way, stretch it back out a little bit. That brought up a tiny bit of yellow through there, which that's kind of cool. That wasn't my intention. I'll try to fix this side over here with drips after I stop the camera and the corners. I will do a close-up video after I touch everything up, but I think as far as the painting goes, I'm getting a white spot there. I'm getting white spots over here. My paint, I must have run a lot of paint off, and that really thin base coat is coming up through. As it sits, I'm getting a few cells. I've got a few cells there and a couple cells there. Most of my paintings don't change much after I'm finished with them, but this one might. I think it looked better before I started tilting though. I mean, here just a second ago. I don't really have anything else to say. I'm just trying to see if I want to do anything else to it or not. But I think I'm just going to leave it alone. Whenever I do the close-up and you see it from this direction, this here looks like some kind of little animal because it looks like eyes and like a duck bill or something right there and like a head. That's kind of cute. That's the only focal point I can see. I may have to try the colors again, but thicken them up a little bit. I do like how the yellow, orange, and pink are playing together here, making kind of a coral looking color. Yellow is my favorite color, so I do like that there's yellow over there. I like that the orange kind of stretched out and isn't... Sorry about my dog. I like that the orange isn't taking over. I like that there's not as much green. I like that the colors stayed separated a little bit better, or kind of blended together okay. I don't really know what else to say. I will probably either like it or dislike it better when it's dry. So I really need to do that video, like I was saying, for you guys, where I show you a lot of my recent paintings after they have dried or after I have varnished them. So thanks as always for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share my videos. And have a blessed day. Bye. Okay, here's a wet close-up. I love how I can see that pearlescent shimmer in there. I did make some green. Here's the little duck face figure thing that I saw. I did make some green, but not as much as what I have been. There's some white cells that are coming up, I assume from the paint underneath. I do like all that yellow, even though it doesn't look like anything. I like that it's standing out. Here in this blue section, sorry about the ring light up there, here in this section with the blue and the purple, those pink cells are what I really like. That one has some orange in it too. This one right here is the one I really like. I don't know why. I like that there's some yellow coming up through there too. There's another white cell coming up. I need to try to thicken up my paints just a tiny bit next time. That's where it kind of made a coral color with the pink and the orange and yellow. I like those two cells that came over there. Trying to get as much away from that ring light as I can. But I can't over here, I'm sorry. And I like the pink right there a whole lot. And here's the whole thing. Sorry, let me move this. And here's the whole thing. And it's not the best painting by any means, but it's one that I actually like, that I have done recently, and most of mine lately have been really bad. So hopefully the next one gets even better. Thanks for watching. Bye.